had I not been lucky enough to have had an extra set of ink sent to me early on when I was lacking for ink, I actually would have been stuck because my cleaning cartridge filled up rather quickly. By the way, if you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Sarah, and this is my studio. I finally got the rest of my Kickstarter bonuses, I guess you would say. The extra cleaning cartridge, the maintenance kit, as well as an extra white and gloss ink. Those showed up earlier this week, a couple days ago. Now, unfortunately, they didn't show up nearly as fast as I would have liked them to. And the reasoning for saying that is, had I not been lucky enough to have had an extra set of ink sent to me early on when I was lacking for ink, I actually would have been stuck because my cleaning cartridge filled up rather quickly. What was really strange about that is the cleaning cartridge filled up, and yet my CMYK colors were all still pretty much close to like 2/3, 70%, which, Eufy, how hard would it be to put a percentage on these bars? I'm supposed to just guess where this gradient lives. We know you can do it. If you're adjusting the little gradient bars, there's a percentage in there somewhere. Just show us the percentage. Yeah, I'm a little spicy today, can you tell? But anyway, had I not had the extra ink sent to me, because I had the ink that somebody graciously let me buy off of them, and then my ink cartridge set showed up, and then I just kind of stored it for when I needed it, I wouldn't have had that extra cleaning cartridge, because the ink set that I got obviously had the extra cleaning cartridge in it. So I would have been behind. Like I said, that was kind of frustrating because, again, I still had probably 2/3 of my CMYK and around 50% of my white and my gloss. I know it's ticking under 50% at this point. And it frustrated me because I'm like, why would the cleaning cartridge fill that quickly? Well, one of the mods in the Discord group, or one of the original 200, I should say, so somebody who's been working with the machine a lot longer, did point out that when you go to set up your EufyMake printer, keep in mind that the lines are primed with fluid, sort of cleaning fluid, something to kind of keep things stable and moist during transport. And so when you go to do the initial setup with your printer, all of that kind of has to come out and it's got to go somewhere. So it's going to go into the cleaning cartridge where you've got the little waste unit. And when I thought about that, I was like, okay, that makes sense, because when I had gotten my DTF printer and did the initial priming, it took like, I want to say almost half a liter of white ink just to kind of get things up and moving, and there was quite a bit purged. And the instructions did warn me that that was going to happen, but I didn't really think about the fact that that would also be an issue with the EufyMake printer, because it is still a printer and it's got to do all of that initial purging and priming. So keep that in mind for all of you guys if you're just now getting a printer and you're just now getting, supplies coming in, or if you're waiting on it, go ahead and get yourself an extra cleaning cartridge. It's worth, I think, having an extra one in reserve. They are finally getting around to sending in all of the extras on Kickstarter. And like I said, I finally got my Kickstarter bonuses put together, and they are starting to ship things. That being said, things are definitely shipping slowly. I had opted to purchase some of their UV adhesion promoter for acrylic because I was testing around with the custom acrylic puzzles that I do, because I really do want to flip over to UV printing. I think it'll give more vibrant results and will certainly cut down on time and energy, because I normally sublimate my acrylic. When I did a test run, I cut down the time to make my puzzles considerably, but the UV ink wasn't wanting to stick to the acrylic as well as I would have liked to. Having run it through the laser, I was getting some areas where it was chipping, and that's not uncommon. Acrylic typically will require a little bit of prep. Same thing with glass, supposedly the same thing with metal, although I did print some cute color labels onto a set of metal IKEA magnets, the little clippy ones. They're like, $3 to a $5 pack. Made those really cute. They're hanging in my office. Those, as far as I can tell, are on, and I don't think they're coming off. It could be the number of layers I put in. It could just be that particular metal. I don't know. My point is that I ordered the UV adhesion promoter pads clear back on February 27th. As of the 2nd of April, they are finally on their way. It took almost a month before it finally got around to being shipped to me. And at this point, I had gone in and ordered an extra cleaning cartridge because I wasn't sure when that one was going to show up. And I have ordered that, and that at this point I've yet to see a tracking label for. I've also yet to see a tracking label for the gloss that they put on sale. I don't know if it was this week or if it was last week, but you guys probably got an email that EufyMake had some gloss that was going to expire a bit sooner like I think at the end of June, and they were just kind of trying to push stock out. They let you know the expiration date, and being gloss and white ink being one of those colors that you run through a little bit faster, there's, you know, a possibility that you could chew through that in that amount of time. And they offered it, I forget how much it was discounted. I want to say 25% or so. Let me open the order and see. Actually, more like 35%. So they offer 35% off on the ink. If you're going to sell us ink that's getting ready to expire, you might want to ship that out a little sooner. I'm personally tracking my gloss levels. At this point, I'm still doing okay. But my thought process was, because again, I wasn't sure when I would get, you know, my extra from the Kickstarter, and at least the box that I got already is good for quite a while before it's going to be potentially expired. But if this one's going to expire soon, I figured when my gloss gets low, I can pop that one in and I'll be good. And I won't feel bad if I decide that I want to make, you know, some resin earrings or something where I'm using lots of layers of gloss. But again, if you're going to send me something that's going to expire that soon, you need to get it shipped out. Editing Sarah chiming in here. So as I'm literally editing this video, the night before I'm getting ready to drop it, I got an email from EufyMake saying that the gloss has been shipped and a courier is ready to pick up, complete with a tracking number. I don't know what eldritch magic I invoked by yelling that out loud in the studio, but they do seem to be getting around to actually shipping them, thank God. Interestingly, it's being shipped by GoFo, which I thought they had stopped using because they had tossed some printers around. Nevertheless, it's a container of ink, so I would like to think they can't break it. Fingers crossed, we'll see. In terms of how the EufyMake's been doing, I haven't had any real problems other than I had one episode where it was failing to level the Z-axis, and somebody in the group had suggested, do you have something stuck underneath the bed? And it wasn't until I was looking at it, was like, well, maybe, but I was terrified, honestly, of like, how do I get this up? It turns out the very bottom section will pull up. It's kind of a flat area, so you do have to pull it up. It just takes a little bit of force, a little more than you typically like to apply to like a delicate machine like that. The Z-axis is fairly secured, but it will come up, and sure enough, a rogue little wham bam clip had fallen off. Now, I had the mat flipped over, so the clips I don't think work quite as well when the mat is flipped over because they don't have that little hook thing. That being said, as was pointed in the comments by the inventor of the mat, he had actually chimed in when I had talked about whether or not the clips were necessary. He mentioned they're really not, so at this point I haven't really used them and I've just kind of left the mat in place. I think I've had the mat move maybe once, and I honestly think it might have been me maybe shifting the machine around rather than it happening during print or anything like that. That's not been an issue. But the mats have been great. I clean mine sporadically. I don't do it every time just because I'm lazy. But each time I clean it, it's fairly easy to do. It's really just kind of a matter of sort of, you know, cracking and rubbing vigorously over a trash can. Occasionally a scraper will help a little bit to get stuff off, but it's silicone. It peels right off, no problem. I haven't really had any color issues. The one exception being when I did a larger print in sort of an off-white. There was a section that seemed to get a little on the blue side, and it almost looked like there was a spot where perhaps maybe, I don't know, like a chunk had been taken out or something. I don't quite know. It was a little weird, but it was mostly cosmetic, and admittedly it was a personal piece. I had opted to celebrate the fact that I have over 10,000 subscribers, and I had told the mini human, because what exposure she's seen on YouTube is she's had, you know, the younger kid channels where they get the golden plaque or the silver plaque, and she's like, when are you gonna get that? And I'm like, yeah, probably never. A million is probably grossly unrealistic. 100K is a pipe dream. To be honest, thinking that I could even hit 10K last year was a pipe dream. And I had some content go viral in November, literally while I was laid up with surgery. You want to talk about opening up your YouTube app on your phone and like looking at it going, I don't remember hallucinating on Percocet before, because that was like how fast the number was going. I was like, where the heck did all of this come from? I had a sticker video go viral. I don't know why. It had been literally on YouTube for almost 100 days and just all of a sudden just took off. And so as of January 20th of this year, I celebrated 10,000 subscribers. And I had told the mini human if I hit 10,000 subscribers, I would make myself a YouTube plaque to celebrate. So I got myself some bronze acrylic and I basically made my own, trying to make it look like what the silver and the gold one would be. It made her really happy. She was all excited when she came home and she saw it displayed. She's like, you made it. It's so exciting. I wasn't really going to tell you guys about it, but since I'm sitting here shooting the breeze, my point with that story to tangent back around, squirrel, is that when I did that print, I got some shifting of the white a little bit. It got dirty. And then again, I had that notch. Again, cosmetic piece. And ultimately, I felt a little ironic and possibly very appropriate because it's a YouTube plaque that I made for myself celebrating the channel, and disasters happen in crafting all the time. Like I've said before, the number of dead craft project bodies that hit the floor and don't get recorded are much greater than you think. So in terms of EufyMake stuff, that's where we are. They seem to finally be getting around to getting lots of the Kickstarter stuff coming out. I know. It ended in June. They had told us, July to September, even though that was grossly unrealistic. And it's April 2nd, and I'm having this conversation. But hey, at least things are moving. And it looks like things are moving from the store, albeit slowly, they are moving from the store. A couple other things I did notice with the EufyMake is sort of watching how much cleaning fluid gets used versus ink and all of that, because the machine will typically run a deep clean every couple of days to try and keep things clean. But then if you're not printing that day, it will go into moisture mode. I have noticed that it uses a lot of cleaning fluid and moisture fluid to go into that mode, whereas if I just happen to send it a very tiny little print, and I don't even necessarily have to be printing something big, I could be running a small little sticker and throwing it on the silicone mat, the ink waste for that is much less than it is going into moisture mode and then having it re-inject ink. For a while, I've been printing bookmarks. I printed just a bunch of white blanks to see how they looked, and they turned out pretty good. There's just something to me that I almost wish there was a matte gloss. I think that's part of it. Let me show you guys. This would be the original bookmark that I did. It's my double-sided one. It's a composition bookmark, available in my Etsy shop as well as my main Shopify shop if you're interested. 3D printed, both sides. Takes a little while, but it's got a nice, decent look. It's got a bit of a matte finish to it. This is that same bookmark printed on just a plain blank and then run through the EufyMake printer. Now, it gives great results, and obviously it's going to be much faster. Text on this one I think is definitely clearer as a print than it is on this one, but it also is very, very shiny, whereas this one has kind of a nice matte finish. And I don't think I used gloss. This was just the CMYK, and you still get a bit of a gloss to it. So, I mean, that would be kind of my only complaint with it. There's something about this that doing it 3D print style that just gives it a little more life. I don't know how else to put it. And I have noticed that when I do other pieces. For those of you who watched my video last week, I was showing off Woodcolor 8's new software, and I did an example with a abstract intuitive painting that I had done a while ago. Well, I made it into a bookmark, also available if you want one. And I love how it turned out. Like I said, there's just something about this that has, I don't know, this feeling of being more than just a printed item. Just a personal preference. Also, I have noticed some of the pieces that I do and run through the EufyMake printer are a little bit sticky when they come out. Not a lot, and I honestly don't think I've really noticed it more recently. It was maybe in the beginning. I'm not sure if it was just like the light wasn't working as well in the beginning and it's like fixed itself, if there's been some tuning of settings behind the scenes. It's not been enough where it's like I have felt the compulsion to stick it under my UV lamp to fix things, but I will sometimes kind of wipe it down a little bit and it'll feel less sticky, and it could just be that residual feeling from UV ink in general versus me holding something that was 3D printed. I don't know. I could just be over reading things. I mean, same way I could be over smelling things. Which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about with the printer, and that is fumes. So, fume control. I know I mentioned this when I first opened my machine, and I'm starting to notice as other people are getting their printers that I am not the only crazy one in that this machine smells. Now, some people are going to be more sensitive to the smell of UV resin than others. It really is a matter of how much of a bloodhound your ancestors were. And I definitely noticed, especially initially with the machine, that it was pretty intense. That being said, as more people have gotten this printer, they're definitely saying, this thing stinks. How do I contain the smell? I can happily report that the Sky Enclosure that I got off of Amazon, I have a link to it in my affiliate store. If you want to find it, I do get a small commission. And based on my commission report for the last couple of months, is a lot of people have also been investing in that and hopefully are finding good results with it. I'm not going to recommend anything here on my channel that I don't think works really well, or I've had the chance to try and test and make sure it works effectively. I mean, I'm a talking head on the internet, but I'd like to think that people can trust my opinion on things. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I don't want to be pushing things just for the sake of money. Also, let me know in the comments if you like this additional style of just me kind of rambling, telling stories, and talking about the state of the crafting world. This is sort of a style I've been wanting to play around with a little bit. I also know that I'm definitely a tad on the neurodivergent side, and girl, I see a squirrel run by and I could be gone for 15 minutes. I will do my best to try and control that in editing, but even then I feel like sometimes I go off on a tangent, so just warning all of you guys. By the way, if you're new to my channel and you want to take a minute to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications, and if you could tap the like button to tell the Eldritch algorithm that this video was a good one, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!